Picture this for a moment. It's just an ordinary day. Maybe you're walking through the park, relaxing at the beach, or cleaning out your closet, because of course, these things always happen when you least expect them, and suddenly, you find an old dusty lamp. It doesn't look like much, but you and I both know what to do. You rub it. Poof! A cloud of blue smoke appears, and out pops a genie with a turban, a sharp beard, and a deep voice saying, "You have 3 wishes." And of course, this is the part where everyone thinks it's easy. 3 wishes. Just 3. How could anyone mess that up? There you are, wide-eyed like a kid in a candy store, thinking, "I'm gonna wish for something life-changing." I'll be really specific this time so there's no mistakes. No way I'm ending up as a frog like in the stories. But let me tell you something, the genie, or life, which sometimes comes disguised as a genie, has its own way of interpreting things. And suddenly, you realize that making a wish might be more complicated than filing your taxes. Imagine you say, "I just want a peaceful life." Boom! The genie turns you into a rock. At the bottom of the ocean. Total silence. No WhatsApp, no in-laws, no Zoom meetings. Or you say, "I want easy money." And you wake up with a briefcase full of cash, and 3 gangsters knocking on your door asking for the package. And then you start wondering, was this what I actually wanted? Was I clear with what I asked for? Was the problem the genie, or me? And that brings me to the central idea of this talk. What happens when the genie misunderstands your wish? Or, and here's the twist, what if the problem isn't the genie at all? Today we're going to talk about wishes, but not the fairy tale kind. We're talking about real-world wishes. The ones we whisper to the sky when we're alone. The ones we're too scared to say out loud. And even the ones that already came true, but didn't feel like we imagined. We're going to laugh a little, because honestly, this topic is full of comedy. But we're also going to reflect a bit, because sometimes we wish for things without truly thinking about what they mean. So stick with me for the next few minutes. Let's dig into what's really behind those wishes we chase so hard. And maybe we'll realize that the real genie isn't in the lamp, it's within us. Let's talk about the misunderstood wish. That moment when you make a wish with all the hope in the world, and the universe, or the genie, interprets it their way. And you're left standing there thinking, "This is not what I meant." But it's too late. The wish has been granted. And there's no undo button. Let's say you wish, "I want to be rich." And the genie, following orders, turns you into Rico Gonzalez, owner of a hardware store in Nebraska. You live alone, drive an old pickup truck, and every Monday there's a discount on screws. Technically, you're Rico. Literally. But, is that what you meant? Another classic. "I want to be irresistible." And bam! You're turned into a glazed donut. Round, sweet, and everyone wants you, for about 5 minutes. Then someone eats you. Wish over. And here's the real issue. The problem isn't what we wish for, it's what we think we mean when we wish for it. We believe we're being clear. We think the wish is obvious. But genies, just like life, don't hear what you meant to say. They hear exactly what you said. And worse, they also hear what you left out. Look, if I say, "I want more free time," and I don't clarify that I want to keep my job, the genie fires me. Here you go, all the time in the world. Enjoy it, from your couch, while scrolling through job listings. See how dangerous that is? Every wish has hidden ambiguity. A risk we don't see, until the wish comes true. Because we wish from emotion, from impulse, not from clarity. We wish for love, without thinking about the responsibility of loving. We wish for money, without asking ourselves what we're willing to give up. We wish for success, not knowing the emotional toll that comes with it. I know someone, let's call her Clara, who always said, "I want stability." That was her wish. Her mantra. And life granted it, a stable relationship, a stable job, a stable routine. So stable, it became a prison. Every day felt the same. No surprises, no newness. And one day she told me. I realized I confused stability with being on pause. See? We wish poorly. Not because we're foolish, but because we don't take the time to define what we truly want. We say, I want peace, but do we mean inner peace, or just that people stop talking to us? I want independence, emotional, financial, or just moving out of our parents' house. I want change. Do we mean changing ourselves, others, or the entire world? Sometimes even the genie gets confused. You say, I want to be happy. And the genie gives you a meditation app, 2 pills a day, and a feed full of inspirational quotes. But what you actually wanted was a hug. A sense of purpose. To feel alive. The genie did their best. But you didn't give them a full instruction manual. Because life is the same way. It doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you understand, what you project, what you're ready for. Or simply what you failed to protect yourself from. So here's the idea I want to leave you with today. Before throwing your wish out into the universe, ask yourself. Am I being clear? Am I wishing from awareness or from impulse? Am I truly ready for what might come, even if it doesn't look like I imagined? Wishing isn't like writing a shopping list. It's like writing a script that someone else is going to perform. And they might improvise at any moment. So next time you say, I want something different in my life. Make sure you know what that something really means. And more importantly, what you're willing to give up to get it. Because if you don't, well, you might end up selling screws in Nebraska. Named Rico. And wondering how on earth you got there. So many times, we believe we're chasing our dreams. But if we pause, just for a moment, we realize something uncomfortable. They're not ours. We're following inherited desires. Fulfilling expectations we've never questioned. Living out choices that didn't come from within. But were handed to us like a pre-written script. You study law. Not because you love justice. But because your dad always dreamed of having a lawyer in the family. You get married at a certain age. Not because you're ready. But because everyone else did it and it's time. You work overtime, no personal life. Not because you love your job. But because you were taught to be hardworking, valuable, productive. And there you are, tired, successful on paper maybe. But with this invisible discomfort. As if something inside you was whispering. This wasn't the plan. This wasn't my wish. And then one day, maybe on a Monday, or a quiet Sunday afternoon staring at the ceiling, you ask yourself, when did this wish become mine? When did I go from wanting to be happy to wanting to look happy? When did I should start winning over I want? We live in a world that applauds you more for fitting in than for being yourself. You get praised if you check all the boxes. College degree heavy checkmark. Stable relationship heavy checkmark. Serious job heavy checkmark. House, kids, mortgage heavy checkmark. But no one ever asks you. Does this make you happy? Did you choose this, or did someone else choose it for you years ago? And sometimes, not even you ask yourself that. It's like walking into a store full of dreams. And instead of choosing your own, someone already filled your cart. And you walk out with it, convinced you made great choices. Until you get home and think, why did I even want this? And this isn't about blaming anyone. Our parents, school, culture, social media. They all teach us what they know. The problem isn't that someone gave you an idea. The problem is never having stopped to examine it. Never having the courage to say, this isn't what I want. This doesn't represent me. This isn't my path. So let me ask you directly. What are you doing today that truly came from you? Not what you were taught. Not what was expected. But what you felt was right for you. Because if you never ask, you might spend your life climbing a mountain. Only to realize once you reach the top, it was the wrong mountain. The good news is that it's never too late to turn inward. To rewrite the dream. To stop living on autopilot, and start living in truth. It's not easy. Questioning what you once believed was yours never is. But it's the first step toward, one day, being able to say, "This dream is truly mine. I chose this. This wish reflects who I am." And when that happens, you don't need a genie. Because the wish doesn't live out there anymore. It lives in you. We like to believe that if we formulate a wish clearly, if we say it precisely and carefully, then everything will turn out perfectly. But that's not how it works. Not with genies, and definitely not with life. Even the most well-thought-out, well-intentioned, deeply considered wishes have flaws. You wish for fame. And you get it. At first, it's exciting. People recognize you, applaud you, follow you. But then, one day, you just want to go to the store in peace, and you can't. Another day, you make a human mistake, and millions of people judge you for it. Fame, that shiny-looking wish, becomes a giant magnifying glass over your life. And you're not always ready for that. You wish for free time. Great. You get it. But that free time came because you got laid off. And now the silence isn't restful, it's anxiety. Time without purpose isn't freedom, it's emptiness. The truth is, the perfect wish doesn't exist. Because you're not perfect either. Because you don't fully understand everything that comes with what you're wishing for. A wish is just a momentary projection. It's what you think you want. Based on the person you are right now. With the experience and understanding you currently have. But you change. Your needs change. Your identity evolves. And sometimes, the wish that once felt like a dream starts to feel like a cage. So before you obsess over a wish, ask yourself, and if I get it, what comes next? Am I willing to pay the full price, not just the beautiful part? Because it's not about not wishing. It's about wishing consciously. Have you ever felt like some people are just born with their own personal genie? The one who always gets lucky. The one who finds opportunities like spare change in the couch. The one who goes out for coffee, and comes back with a job offer, a new connection, or an open door. And you? You do everything right. You work hard, study, apply, try again. And still, nothing seems to move. It's like your lamp is broken. Like the genie just doesn't hear you. And that's when the doubt creeps in. What if the genie only shows up for certain people? What if some folks are born with an advantage they never mention? And honestly, sometimes, yes. Because many of those so-called genies aren't magical. They're called privilege, connections, or simply being born in the right place at the right time. Some people inherit a support network. Others have access to resources. Others simply start the game a few spaces ahead. And that's not your fault. But it's also not a reason to give up. The point isn't to get bitter because someone else has a genie. The point is to realize that sometimes, you can be someone else's genie. And more importantly, your own. Because if no one came to grant your wishes, maybe it's time to stop rubbing lamps. And start building your own magic. Maybe the real genie is you. Maybe the lamp you kept searching for out there was always inside. And that changes everything. Because wishes don't come true by magic. It's not enough to close your eyes, cross your fingers, and wait for a sparkling poof. Wishes come true through something much more powerful. Work, consistency, and a good dose of stubbornness. You want to be a writer? Write. Don't wait for divine inspiration. Don't wait for free time. Write when you can, how you can, every day, even if no one's reading yet. You want to travel? Save. Even if it's just a little. Even if it feels like it'll take forever. Every coin you don't spend without thinking is one step closer to that destination. You want love? Be love. Don't desperately search for someone to complete you. Complete yourself. Give what you hope to receive. Be honest, present, open, human. Sure, it doesn't sound as magical as a wish granted on the spot. It doesn't sparkle like a floating lamp. Or come with a booming voice saying, "Your wish is my command." But it works. Because it's real. And because it's in your hands. Sometimes we confuse what we want with what we fantasize. We want instant results, change without effort, rewards without the journey. But the wishes that are truly worth it, the ones that actually transform you, don't come quickly, they are built. In that process, as long, as hard, as full of doubts as it may be, is where you discover yourself. That's where you realize you never needed a genie. You just needed to trust yourself. So next time you look up at the sky and think, "I wish," remember this. Don't say "I wish." Say "I will." Don't wait for the wish to come find you. Be the wish, in motion. Because the genie's not coming. And that's okay. You're already here. Sometimes, what we desire most becomes what we fear most. It's strange, isn't it? We spend so much time wishing for something, imagining what it would be like to have it, that we don't realize what it really comes with. And if for some reason you get that wish, be careful, because here comes the big disappointment. You wanted freedom, right? But with that freedom comes loneliness. The lack of routine, of structure, of purpose. And in the end, you end up wishing for a bit of that discipline you once thought was a burden. You wanted success. But success doesn't come only with applause. It comes with anxiety, with the pressure to maintain it, with the fear of losing it. Now that you have it, you realize that, instead of enjoying it, you're constantly worrying about letting others down. You wanted love. That perfect love, without problems, without complications. But love came. And it wasn't the kind of love you imagined. It wasn't all roses and happy endings. It was complicated, with moments of doubt, with sacrifices, with fights. The kind of love that really changes you. And that's when you realize that getting the wish, although in theory it feels like a triumph, sometimes is the best way to discover it wasn't what we wanted in the first place. Maybe we never thought about the details. We never imagined what would come with what we asked for. Because life doesn't always grant wishes with the shiny bow we expect. Sometimes, it gives them exactly as we asked, but with an unexpected twist. And in that twist, we discover something more important than the wish itself. Did we really want it? Every wish fulfilled comes at a price. And sometimes, that price isn't easy to see when we're daydreaming, wishing for something to become reality. Because when we ask for something, we're not just asking for the good. We're asking for everything that comes with it. The lights, the shadows, the blessings, and the consequences. You want independence? Great, you've got it. But with independence comes distance. The separation from some relationships, the need to make decisions on your own, to walk alone. Independence frees you, but it also makes you more aware of your isolation. And though you may wish for it, sometimes it can feel more like a burden than a victory. You want success? Perfect, you've achieved it. But with success comes sacrifice. Time, that precious currency, will no longer be just yours. And what you gain in accomplishments, you lose in personal moments, in relationships, in that peace that sometimes feels so distant. Success takes you to high places, but it also demands you to keep moving, always seeking more. You want love? That deep, unconditional, perfect love. But love involves vulnerability. You expose yourself, you open up to the possibility of being hurt, misunderstood. Love can bring you the purest joy, but also the fear of rejection, the pain of loss. But here's the most important lesson. This doesn't make the wishes bad. It just makes them real. Because there is no wish without a cost. Everything we gain has a counterpart, a shadow we must accept if we truly want the light. Life doesn't just give us what we ask for. It gives us everything that comes with that wish. The good and the bad. The challenge and the reward. The reality. So next time you have a wish, ask yourself, am I willing to pay the full price for this wish? Do I really want it, with everything that comes with it? Because you always gain something.